ran partially on that. I ran partially on that. I ran on that, and I ran very strongly against China. And then we made a great trade deal where they buy $250 billion. They're supposed to. And they're paying tariffs. They paid us tens of billions of dollars. I've given 12 billion one year, 16 billion another year, and 19 billion to our farmers and ranchers who were targeted. But, I ran on China and other countries the way they were ripping us off. They were ripping off our country. And China understood that, and China fully understood that. And they're big, strong, smart people. And I wasn't friendly, and it wasn't a friendly situation. And we ended up making an incredible deal with China for tens of billions of dollars of product, $40 to $50 billion to the farmers. The most they ever spent was 15 to 16. Now they're supposed to spend 40 to 50. Now, of course, the virus came along, and I'm not happy. I'm not happy. I let them know I'm not happy. So, we had a great relationship we had a very bad relationship with China. Then we had a good relationship because we made a great deal. But we're not happy. This is not a good thing that happened. Came out of China, so we're not in a position where we're going to say much yet. But the deal itself is great. The deal it's going to put many, many people to work in our country, but all of that has to be taken into account when you look at all of the people that are dying in our country, but all over the world. All over the world, people are dying. I had a G7 call, and their economies are in tatters. They're shattered. The G7 countries, Japan and Germany and France, the different countries, Italy. Look at what happened to Italy. Look at what happened to these countries. Look at what happened to Spain. Look what happened to Spain. How incredible. It's just been shattered. And so many other countries are shattered. So nobody ever thought this could have happened, a thing like this. It's very, very sad. But if we've learned something, it's about supply chains. I just saw it yesterday where when the auto industry gets back, they have a problem because there's a supply chain going to a different country. And this has been going on for years, for decades. I always said it was no good. Why don't we make it? Why do you need a supply chain? Very simple, make your parts here. They get one part from this country, one part from that country. It's all over the place. The problem is if one country has a problem, you have no car or whatever it is you're making. So we've learned a good lesson. I think a lot of smart people knew that before. But we've distributed many hundreds of millions of masks. This pandemic has underscored the vital importance of reshoring our supply chains and bringing them back into the United States where they belong, where they should have never left. What happens if you're in a war and you have a supply chain where half of your supplies are given to you by other countries? Who are the people that thought of this? These are globalists. It doesn't work. It certainly doesn't work during rough times, bad times, or dangerous times. So we're going to continue to fight the virus. We're talking to China. We spoke to them a long time ago about going in. We want to go in. We want to see what's going on. And we weren't exactly invited, I can tell you that. If you look at some of the investigations that are going on in terms of World Health Organization, and I'll take it a step further, World Trade Organization too, World Trade. We did years ago, many years ago, the World Trade Organization, from the day China came in, that's when China bloomed. They were mainlining it, and then boom, they were up like a rocket ship because they took advantage of every little ridiculous clause in the World Trade Organization documents. They were a developing nation. China was a developing nation. They make the cars, they make the plant, they make everything. And they're a developing nation. So we've had I might have gotten elected to a certain extent because of China and other countries. One of my big things was trade. The United States is getting ripped off in trade. Now Japan is paying $40 billion and buying a lot. That's before we even do the deal. U.S.-Mexico was a great deal. The NAFTA was one of the worst deals ever made in trade history. And I would also put the World Trade Organization in that same group. So I was very tough on these countries. With China, we made the deal, and it became friendly. But then this happened, and this is tantamount. This is something that's really incredible. I do want to read the something that I just saw today on television. I was looking, and I just said, "That's an interesting statement." We talk about the Democrats, and it was a statement made by Bret Baier, good guy, smart. On February 19th, there was a Democratic debate in Las Vegas. That was February 19th. That's way after I closed entrance from China into our country. So Bret goes, on February 19th, there was a Democratic debate in Las Vegas. 3 words weren't said during the debate: virus, coronavirus, or COVID-19. Those 3 words never came up. That was, I just thought it was a very interesting, because, you know, you hear these people, some of the people, the Democrats said, oh, this, that. It never even was a part of their dialogue. Now they bring it up because you see what happened, so now, but they didn't bring it up. But I brought it up. I brought it up a long time before I made the trade deal, and I was not easy to deal with. I was not easy to deal with. They understand that. We still have 25% on $250 billion that they have to pay us. And it's a lot of money. We're taking in a lot of money, and we've had a lot of beneficiaries, including our farmers and ranchers. So in addition, we've launched an unprecedented effort to develop new treatments and therapies to battle the plague. Therapies to me are the most exciting. The vaccines are obviously so important, but the therapies are immediate, you know. And we have some things that are really looking good.